1, 2, 3.
Hey, happy Christmas. I hope you all had a great time. We had a great time here. We haven't really done any building. In fact, we haven't done any building for the last week. So today I thought I would talk a bit about what we're going to do starting tomorrow. In fact, we're going to start already tomorrow, even though it's New Year's Eve on Tuesday. We're going to get cracking because there's a lot to do, and even just 1 week off, already going a bit nuts with how much there is to do and how excited I'm getting. Because yesterday we started moving my stuff, all my musical instruments, out of the storage room where it's just been piled up for 2.5 years. Yeah, gathering dust and not getting too much love or use at all. And I'm starting to realize just how much stuff I have. I mean, this is still only a part of it. But I thought I would just talk about what we're going to do in the next couple of months. And I'm going to show you around. So as you can see, this place is filling up rapidly. Lots of guitar amps, drum sets, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, nylon strings, synthesizers. This is really the tip of the iceberg in many ways. I've kind of piled it all down that end of the room so that it's kind of out of the way, because one of the first things I'm going to do starting tomorrow is I'm going to start building the furniture, like finishing off like storage stuff and furniture in the studio. So this corner, which has been sitting unloved for so long now, is going to house a big kind of storage unit. I'm imagining it's going to be for microphones, microphone cables, possibly drums, like snare drums, cymbals, that sort of stuff, with cupboards underneath for more bits and pieces, maybe drawers underneath. Not sure. I haven't really designed it on paper, just in my head. But basically this whole thing will be a big kind of piece of furniture fitted in there with some mic tails underneath, which are just sitting on the floor there right now. Yeah, so that should take care of a lot of storage for the big room. Just little things. You know what it's like with studios. There's just a million little things that you need to know where they are, because it kind of keeps the flow moving. You know, there's nothing worse than needing to find a DI box or something and you don't know where it is, and everyone's waiting, everyone's kind of fired up. So I mean, that is, in my opinion, one of the most important things about a recording studio, is having everything as organized as you can without it feeling like a kind of sterile office, which I've been in many studios like that. I don't like those kind of studios either, but I do like it to be organized chaos, maybe. So then going into the control room, which kind of needs the most work of all, and is quite dark, because obviously that's one thing I need to do in here, is the lighting. In this room and in the booth, very minimal lighting at the moment. In fact, like no lighting. Basically, I've been trying to resist hanging guitars on this wall, because part of me just thinks it looks a bit kind of like so cliched to have guitars hanging on the walls. But these panels here, they're just crying out for guitars to be put in them, I think, especially with each one having a different colour. I think that could just look really cool with some nice complementary guitar colours put in there. Like this old Greco Strat. I mean, that on white looks quite nice. Also looks very good against the leopard skin. Also looks good against the blue. Yeah, you see? So I think we can have a lot of fun hanging guitars on this wall, but I would also like to light them. And there isn't much ceiling space left because it's covered in these panels. So I need to figure out some sort of lighting solution which can possibly sit in between these baffles, shine down onto the guitars over there, shine down onto the floor. I'm still kind of a bit at the drawing board in this booth. I feel like in other studios that I've had in the past, I've never felt like I've had enough lighting. Maybe that's why I've kind of gone blind. Yeah, I'm kind of determined in this studio to try to get the balance right between coziness and practicality, because I think I've always tried to make it kind of like a cozy feeling and kind of candlelit feeling, or yeah, sort of like a club, or I don't know what. I like it when it's kind of cozy and dim, but yeah, I'm going to work it out for this studio, the perfect balance. Similarly, in the control room, yeah, we need some ceiling lights, maybe some LED lights behind the baffles so that we can get a kind of glow of colour on the ceiling. But in here I am going to build a few things. I'm going to build on that wall there some kind of big shelving thing for synthesizers. I did measure it out and I can fit 2 synths next to each other in width. So I could, because I have quite a few synths, I have quite a few like old keyboards and synths and things, and I think it would be really nice if they were all kind of in one place, easy to access, so like maybe you can kind of pull them down or something, or they're all wired up like in situ, and maybe they're all controlled from a different synth, like a master keyboard kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly just yet, but that will be on the wall there. Underneath it here will be another rack unit, which will be housing kind of effects and things, and also some drawers and yeah, a cupboard of some description. Again, it's kind of in my head right now. I don't have a plan on paper, but it will be some sort of storage / rack / synthesizer station / worktop kind of thing over there. On this side, this is where I'm going to have my 2 tape machines. I've got a really nice 1/2-inch 8-track Atari and a Studer 1/4-inch 2-track trolley. I've got 2 trolleys which will sit there in the corner, and so above them on the wall I'm going to make a little shelving thing for tapes and other tape machine related stuff. These things, by the way, will have lights in them. Like the shelving there and the shelving here will also have lights in them. So I'll see how I go. I'll see how practical that ends up being, or if it's enough lighting, I might have to do something else as well. Okay, the next thing, the sofa. This at the moment is just a temporary situation. One of the things I'm going to do in the next few weeks or so is I'm going to build a kind of semicircle, quarter circle, fitted, maybe pink or maybe kind of mint green sofa thing in the corner there, because this sofa being like this is actually eating up a lot of the room. It's making the room feel smaller than it is. In the end, this will be much more fitted here in the corner. Should feel a bit more kind of slick, I guess. Yeah, this side of the room, yeah, it needs a lot of work. It's a big mess. I started a couple of months ago by building this thing, which I still like. Having the patch bays underneath, I now realise is not the best. It's a bit of a pain. In Berlin I had them kind of at eye level on the wall, which was really nice. I'm not sure. I think eventually when I get a new fancy mixing desk in here, then I will probably sell this desk and maybe just sell the whole thing, and I'll move the patch bays maybe a bit higher up over there somewhere. Not sure. These things, this thing, I've got a few other bits and pieces as well which need to kind of fit into this general area. I'm going to build new pieces of furniture. I'm going to kind of tie them in with this sort of style. This is made out of some old recycled tabletops and shipping pallets, and I'm going to do the same with this stuff. I might also build a new desk which lifts up and down, possibly, not sure, but yeah, I might try and do that. Incidentally, the reason there's a big hole in this desk is because that desk used to be in this desk. One thing I am very much looking forward to is having a desk which doesn't have such a low threshold thing on the front, because that has really wrecked my back and my knees over the last 7 years or so since I built this thing. So yeah, ergonomics is the key in my head for what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's sofa, synth shelves, outboard furniture stuff, desk, tape machines. Well, there's the big thing. The big thing in the live room is going to be building the spiral staircase. We've already kind of mapped it all out and planned how we're going to do it. We're going to make it out of metal. In theory, it shouldn't be too hard. I mean, it's going to be hard, it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be, yeah, you know, a challenge. But we've come this far, overcoming many big challenges, many scary big challenges, and I think it's going to look amazing. So we'll see. I don't know when that's going to happen. I've kind of ordered the parts, but I think we're going to start off with a test piece. I'm having the treads cut on the plasma cutter at the metal factory in the village, and we're going to basically kind of finish it off here. So the first bit of it should kind of just bolt together, pretty straightforward, and then we've got to do some welding for the handrails and stuff. We have a plan. That'll be sometime in the next month or two. We're going to do that. I'm also pretty soon, because I actually have bookings already for February in here, I'm going to build some kind of gobos on wheels, you know, like Abbey Road, BBC style, big movable panels that you can use to build like a little kind of booth in the live room. At the moment, you can probably hear just me talking. There's a nice reverb in here as it stands, and it's only going to get a bit more under control the more junk I put in here. And I will do stuff on the walls eventually, but for now I'm kind of curious just to see how well it works, just having maybe a rug at the end on the floor, so maybe make a kind of dead end of the room and have some big gobos which you can use to totally deaden off an area, you know. And I just wonder if maybe that's going to be enough in the end, you know, because it's also really good to have the option of a massive live sounding room, you know. I don't think I want to deaden this room too much, because it would be a shame. I also have quite a few keyboards and organs which work just. Some of them I bought since I left my studio in Berlin, but I have some really nice pieces which need a full service. So that's something else that we're going to get really into next year, is restoring old keyboards and organs, bringing them fully back to life. I've got to try and convince my uncle to come and help me, because he's a bit of an expert on this sort of thing. But he lives in England, so yeah, we'll see if I can convince him to come over. But yeah, I've got a really nice Fender Rhodes, I've got a Cembalet, I've got a Pianet, I've got a Clavinet. What else have I got? Yeah, plenty of other nets which need a bit of love. So yeah, that's going to be a very cool series for next year, is like going deep on restoring and repairing all of this stuff, or all the stuff that needs repairing. I mean, I'm going to try and service all of it anyway. But yeah, that's also for next year. So I think in order, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this thing here, so that I can get the live room organized and start feeling like something's getting organized. And then I will do the control room furniture, maybe some lighting at the same time, and then some gobos. Yes. All of that needs to be done by I think it's the 7th of February. It's my first proper legal session in here. Stay tuned. Thanks so much for all of your support. Yeah, it's been an amazing year. Feels like we've basically, what were we doing a year ago? Yeah, we've built this whole thing in a year. We were finishing the roof sort of this time last year. We were kind of finishing the roof on the outside, and we hadn't really done anything in here. And we're nearly done. So that's pretty good going, really, considering we've also been doing the rest of the place at the same time. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Join our channel membership if you're that way inclined. It's going to be a very cool year next year. I know I said that about 2020 as well, but 2025, it's got a bit of a kind of ring to it, doesn't it? It sounds really like the future. Wasn't that Blade Runner? I can't remember. That was 2027. I can't remember. Anyway, lots of love, and I will see you next week for a proper industrious, productive style video, not just me talking to the camera. Okay, see you then. Take care and goodbye.